is out of the farm version. Turkeys in the wild can run at speeds of up to 20 miles per hour and fly at about 55 miles per hour. American cats have it good. 67% of them are allowed to sleep in the bed with their owners. The biggest hog ever recorded was Big Bill from Jackson, Tennessee. He weighed a whopping 2,552 pounds and was about 9 feet in length. Why are bulldogs called that? The breed was originally bred for bull baiting, to tear apart chain bulls for the amusement of spectators in jolly old England. Dog breeders have since bred the viciousness out of the breed, and they now make good pets. After penguin moms lay their eggs, penguin dads are left to incubate them for weeks afterward. Emperor penguin dads do this by balancing the eggs on the top sides of their feet with their ample bellies hanging over them 24 hours a day for weeks. In America, you have about a 1 in 3,448,276 chance of dying from a snake bite. You may already know that a group of frogs is called a chorus. Did you know, though, a group of toads is called a knot? Cue the hysterical laughter of cat owners everywhere. Healthcare professionals in medieval times thought that owning a cat would cure insanity. Remember Felix the cat? The cartoon character's name was a pun on the Latin term for the house cat, Felis catus. Thailand, Siam doesn't take credit for the Siamese cat. The people there call it the Chinese cat. Got an alligator clamped around your arm. Try poking its eye or punching its nose. We've heard these are the best ways to get free of its grip. However, we guarantee nothing. Farmers say that pigs love eating rattlers, gobbling the poisonous snakes up before they have a chance to strike. If you're an aerophobic cat hater, you can blame the Pilgrims for likely bringing the first domestic cats to the New World. Cows, sheep, dogs, and goats are aplenty in the Bible, but cats are never even mentioned once. Lizards and flies never lose their suction when climbing on walls because they don't use suction. Microscopic grooves on their feet grab microscopic pits and scratches, even on a smooth surface like glass. You're probably not going to see a horror movie about it, but more people are killed by pigs and sharks every year. Why are those wrinkled Chinese dogs called Sherpai? It's a Chinese word meaning shark skin. Baby alligators signal to their mothers that they're ready to emerge from their eggs. They have to because she has to dig them out of the mud before they can hatch. What's the signal? A loud barking that can be heard from If kept safe from foxes, frying pans, and colonial sanders, chickens can live about 80 years. How many lives have the legendary Saint Bernards of the Alps saved? The big sloppy rescue dogs with the brandy cask are credited with rescuing 2,500 people over the last 200 years. A cow consumes the equivalent of a bathtub full of water every day. Granted, some of the moisture comes from the grass it eats, but it all adds up to about 50 gallons. Bovines are cattle, but what are ovines? Sheep. Yes, you can train a zebra to pull a horse wagon. These names will live in history. Dorena Carey, Diane Grebe, Kathy Rhodes, and Dorothy McCarthy. On October 9, 1976, they set the chicken plucking world record by defeathering 12 birds in less than 33 seconds. Where did Jack Russell Terriers get their name? From the man who first bred them in the 1800s, the Reverend John Jack Russell. The largest frog in the world is about the size of your average pet cat. It's the aptly named Goliath frog from West Africa. In contrast, the Brazilian gold frog is only about an eighth of an inch long. A reader asked how many neck bones a giraffe has. The answer is 7, same as people and almost every other mammal. They are extra long though. Male marsupials of all kinds have a forked penis. What purpose might this serve? You may well ask. Well, female marsupials all have 2 uteruses that branch off from a forked opening. You know what they say, there's someone for everybody. Those inventors at the Dubai Camel Hospitals are pretty ingenious. The operating table has a big hole cut in the middle of it. That's for the camel's humps. The table is lowered on top of a sitting camel. The camel is strapped in, and the table is mechanically moved upright so the animal is belly up with all 4 legs in the air and ready for surgery. Heir apparent. Your average cat usually has 12 whiskers on each side of its face. An ostrich egg measures about 5 inches wide and 4 inches tall. It's big enough to make 11 omelets, a feat that normally requires 20 chicken eggs. Even though they may happen to have an orange glow, the name orangutan actually comes from the Malay language and means person of the forest. Cheetahs are fast, reaching speed of about 71 miles per hour. Kangaroos don't sell them short. They can reach speeds of Western world scientists began to piece together the dinosaur puzzle. Before that date, any large bones found were presumed to belong to giant humans wiped out in the biblical flood. The white rhino isn't white, but gray. It was originally white by the Dutch. They were describing the wheat rhino snouts perfectly suited for eating grass. Although protective parents fret about such things, the truth is that there has never been a documented case of a squirrel passing rabies onto a human. An elephant's ears can be up to 6.5 feet long and just as wide. In the 1930s, it wasn't baseball or football star, but a wild animal trainer named Maria Rasputin who first appeared on a box of Wheaties. Odd animal, the duck-billed platypus. Its leathery bill is highly sensitive, the better to guide it through murky water. It's a mammal but lays eggs. The female's milk comes not from nipples, but from pores on its chest and sides, and the babies then lick it off her fur. The average adult giraffe tongue measures just less than 2 feet in length. No one knows for sure where the penguin got its name. Many speculate logically that the name came from the Welsh words pen, meaning head, and gwyn, meaning white. The crab-eater seal eats krill, not crabs. According to human scientists, here's the top 10 list of most intelligent animals on Earth. Humans, chimpanzees, gorillas, orangutans, baboons, gibbons, monkeys, small-toothed whales such as the killer whale, dolphins, elephants. In general, a penguin can have up to 70 feathers per square inch on its body. There's a good reason for the density. Feathers are wonderful insulation. You can go ahead and add penguins to the list of animals that mate for life. Unfortunately for them, it doesn't pay off that well. They still only have sex once a year. Cats have 32 muscles around their ears, allowing them to turn each ear independently. If you've got a short-haired house cat, its ancestors were bred in ancient Egypt from an African wildcat, Felis libica. If you've got a long-haired cat, its ancestors were bred in ancient India from an Asian wildcat, Felix manu. Chickens can fly. They're much better than an ostrich, emu, penguin, or a kiwi. That's not saying much, though the world record flight of a chicken is only about 230 yards. Flamingos have been around a long time, virtually unchanged over time. The species has roamed which is why their excrement looks like piles of clay marbles. Newborn baby giraffes are more than 5 feet tall. Good thing, too, they drop about 6 feet to the ground during the birth process. Most Americans mispronounce armadillo. It's a Spanish word, so you should say it armadillo. What's it mean, you ask? Little man in armor. A reader asked if any wild monkeys ever lived in Europe. Actually, they still do. Barbary apes live on the rock of Gibraltar on the tip of Spain. Gorillas' arms are longer than their legs. Measure a typical male gorilla, and you'll find that its arm span is about 8 feet. A baby chick inside its egg breathes through more than 8,000 pores in its eggshell. You know the mountain gorillas that were featured in the movie Gorillas in the Mist? There are fewer than 650 left in the wild today. Alligator or crocodile. Not that it matters much if one is chasing you. Alligators have a broad, square snout. Crocodiles have a more narrow snout, and their bottom teeth stick out when their mouths are shut. It's only the cheetah that runs down its prey. Most other cats use a stalk and bounce method. Most hippos live in herds, but the little pygmy hippo is a solitary creature. Brine shrimp, known by kids as sea monkeys, can live in water that's about 6 times saltier than regular seawater. Goats have tough lips they use like fingertips to explore new things. This has given them the erroneous reputation of being a walking garbage can. They are actually pretty particular about what they eat. We wonder if the Audubon Society knew about this when they chose their name. John James Audubon made his paintings of birds look so realistic by using freshly killed specimens and wiring them into naturalistic poses. He claimed that dead birds lost their color quickly, so he shot as many as 100 a day for his art. First Lady Martha Washington owned a parrot that George couldn't stand. The parrot likewise hated George. Whenever they were in the same room, they watched each other like hawks for any false moves. Biologists tell us that bats always turn left when they exit a cave. What lurks below? There are jellyfish in every ocean in the world. On top of that, there are even freshwater jellyfish that can live in lakes. Sharks can hear notes lower than humans can hear. However, humans can hear notes higher than sharks can. Are you safe from sharks if you're in a freshwater river? Not necessarily. The bull shark as a result is a liger. If a lioness, the offspring is a digon. Cheetah is the Hindi word for spotted one. The brightly colored Gila monster lizard from America's Southwest may be pretty to look at, but its venom is more than twice as poisonous as the rattlesnakes. The Iditarod in the annual dog sled race that runs from Anchorage to Nome, Alaska. It honors Alaska's most revered canine balto. In 1925, Gunnar Kassens and canine team headed by Balto made the long, treacherous dog sled journey with life-saving serum when a terrible diphtheria epidemic broke out in Nome. Dogs can hear up to 45,000 decibels, cats up to 64,000, mice up to 91,000, bats up to 110,000, and porpoises up to 150,000. People don't even come close. Their highest is in the low 20,000s. An ostrich eye is bigger than its brain. When a kangaroo is born, it's just a hairless fetus-like thing about the size of a small peanut. It manages to climb up into its mom's marsupial pouch and stay there for 6 or 7 months before finally becoming a miniature version of its parents. Although ostriches can't fly, they can outrun a racehorse. Yes, it sounds rude, but goats with horns are officially called buttheads. Not really. If your cat is typical, it will blink about twice a minute. Would you be surprised to hear that humans are more closely related to gorillas than gorillas are to monkeys? In a lifetime, a good dairy cow will produce about 200,000 glasses of milk. Goats are much easier to milk than cows. They're smaller, less temperamental, and fonder of people. Also, they have only 2 teats, cutting the work in half. Early Egyptians tried to domesticate the hyena to solve their rat problem, but it didn't work out. They tried a small desert cat next, with much better success. Gorillas don't need to drink water. They get all the moisture they need from the 50 pounds of vegetation they normally eat in a day. Animals don't have to be burned in the branding process. Some ranchers use freeze branding on their cattle. The cold destroys the hair follicles pigment during cells, turning the hair in the branded area permanently white. Remember Coco, the gorilla that learned to communicate with humans by signing? Well, she went ape over the Mr. Rogers television show. When Coco finally got the chance to meet Fred red jungle fowl. Somewhere along the line, one of these fowls laid a genetically mutated egg that hatched something more like a chicken than a red jungle fowl, hence the egg came first. Now we're going to look into bugs. A cockroach can live for a few weeks or so without its head. Unfortunately, a headless cockroach can't drink, so it will eventually die of dehydration. Chinese farmers encourage ants as a sort of natural pesticide, since a large ant colony can capture several million insects a year. Mexican jumping beans jump because there's a caterpillar inside. Beans is from a shrub that grows south of the border, and the caterpillar eats out the inside, jerking now and again to scare away birds and other seed eaters. Eventually, the caterpillar grows up and emerges from the seed as a butterfly. Ant farm was invented in the same year as Raid insecticide. Coincidence, you decide. Which has more legs, a millipede or a centipede? If you know the metric system, you think that milli should beat centi by a factor of 10, but that would be wrong, depending on the species. Millipedes have between 36 and 400 legs. Centipedes have between 24 and 200. It's only the female mosquitoes that suck your blood. They need the extra nutrients in order to reproduce. So what do male mosquitoes eat? Fruit juices mostly. Ever seen a formicarium? Don't be too sure you haven't. It's the formal name for an ant farm. Here's an irony. The contraption